Hey y'all, this is Ash here from Ash Inspires. It has been a while since I've done a video, but this has been coming up. It's been on my heart. And so I had to come back and I have to give you this message. If you're new here or you're new to me, welcome to my space. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my world that is ever changing. So if you aren't subscribed, hit the bell thing if you do notifications. If not, just do a little mental bell that you're going to come back and check for when I upload new content here at Ash Inspires. Okay, let's get into this. I think it was about, earlier this year. And when I say this year, I'm talking about 2024, where I finally offered something that had actually also been on my heart for a long time. And that was a course called Old Money. And as you would imagine, the course was about healing generational patterns, healing our relationship with money, how we relate to money, how we call in money, how we deal with money, how we manage money, all the things around money so that you can have money that sticks around for a long time and becomes old money, right? So this whole concept of like old money came through. And so when I taught it, I was like, guys, this is like a beta. It's been in my spirit for a long time. I'm going to go ahead and offer it to you guys, and then we're going to see what happens. And ever since then, I've been working with people with their relationship to money, with their relationship to working, and with their relationship essentially to abundance, particularly women entrepreneurs, first gen women entrepreneurs. Y'all are my jam. And so I was speaking with a client the other day, and she had this really interesting dynamic going on that I was like, listen, I was already going to teach on this, but I have to give your specific example because I know for sure other people in the world are creating the same dynamic. Go ahead and pull out your notebook because it's probably going to be really helpful. But essentially, this client was communicating to me what she really desired, which was to up level her relationship to money, to bring in more money, to go to her like exponential next level in her relationship to revenue coming into her life and her business. I was like, cool, jam, we love it. More money in the hearts, in the hands of good people, in the hands of women, in the hands of people who are living out their legacy, who are creating change in the world, who are living out their destiny. Like all of those good things is lights me up. But as we started unpacking and working through the session on how she was going to go about doing so, we were coming up against what we would call blocks, right? Limiting beliefs, generational patterns, ancestral wounds, if you know some of my earlier work, right? And in this, the financial goals were defined, but everything that was coming through was really around like her fear of showing up in this new way to receive this kind of money, like what it would require of her. And so she's talking about all these transformations that would have to happen, not as a I will open up to these things, but in the I have to do this. It's going to be hard to open up to receive this kind of money. So I thought that was really interesting. And then it was also another moment of her being like, also, if I say yes to doing all these things, it's going to take too long for people to actually understand me. Right now, everyone in this like business world, online business world, even if you're not in the business world, just your day-to-day job, everyone's thinking about money, right? Everyone's thinking about how can I make more of it? How can I hold on to it? How can I invest it? How can I be smart about it? How do I spend it? So on and so forth. And so she's like, if I'm not directly going in talking about money, none of these people are going to listen to me. And what she has to offer and what she wants to talk about is something so big and so deep and so unique in the way that she's called to deliver it that she's fearful that people won't get on board and understand how it impacts money or how it can create more abundance and goodness in people's lives. And I was like, that's also interesting. So we got two threads of things that are incongruent with what she really wants to create. So even just taking a pause, if you clicked on this video, obviously, because you're watching it, because you want to transform your relationship to money, and the title of like, stop focusing on money if you want to receive more of it is hitting you, we're getting there. Okay. So just like we're crawling in. Essentially, I was pointing out to her that you're creating this vicious, visceral cycle because the energetics and what she believes is what's going to continue to run through her system, run through her mind, run through her action, and also permeate her field. So all the people who are coming in and out of her life are going to be in some way aligned with that type of belief, that type of energetic, that there isn't enough or that people are not interested in what she has to offer. And that's what she was experiencing. So this is the first point I want to make is that I see all the time. We think that we want more money or we want a different partner or we want to have the kid or we want to move abroad or whatever it is that you want to bring into physical manifestation. We're so fixated on the outcome in this case, we're talking money, that we're not realizing that it's all these other things that is required of you to look at or to understand or to evolve from or to step into in order for you to create that outcome, right? Said differently, it's always the journey, not the destination. How you shift and how you transform allows all the things that you want to come into your life. So just remember I said that because it's going to become a theme. So as I was pointing this out, I'm like, well, this is interesting because you say that you want money, right? You're ready to go to your next level. What it requires for you to get that next level of income or wealth influx or revenue inflow requires you to go to your next level of expression. And yet you believe that your next level of expression won't be received because the people who hears that next level of expression only think about money. Do you see how like these things are seesawing and relating? Like what you think is also reflected in this way of these people. And that's what you're like manifesting right now. And she's like, oh yeah, I really didn't see it that way. And I was like, yeah, I know. In our work together, we start dissolving this. Many, many good things start happening. But the point of this is not to tell her story. It's really to talk about how as soon as we stop focusing on the outcome, again, in this case is money, then we start bringing it in. And it's really weird. And it's the antithesis of what we're taught here on the internet. If you Google anything else or even YouTube searches, we're on this platform, everything about money is like, do this. And I was consistent and hard work and Gary V this. No knock on him because he's actually pretty cool. But I'm just saying, it's like, the language here isn't exactly how I flow in my work, but I will do it for the sake of expression and understanding this concept. Everything out here relating to work and in this Western culture is associated with effort, masculine logic, A plus B plus C over time equals DEF, this linear thing. And that's actually not the only way. It's one way, but it's not the only way to create what you want. If you're watching this video and you are an entrepreneur, particularly if you're a woman or femme or one female identifying person, I want to introduce you to another way of doing business, another way of relating to money and cash flow and revenue that is not reliant on your effort or your burnout. What I'm seeing and have been seeing for a while is that everyone's saying they want to get out of hustle. Everyone's saying, oh, women delegate and create these systems. And then that's what makes it so easeful to scale your business or to create what you desire at the next level. But the truth is, it is not about effort. And it's not only about structure and team and delegation. It is about a whole rejiggering of you as a woman so that everything in your world, including your money, including your business, including your family or your team or your spouse or whoever it might be, starts to reflect what you are here to cultivate. Mic drop. So how you're relating to money and how you see money as a whole journey. Love that work. That's really great. And then also how you believe that money can come into your life has to be transformed. And that's new information, not even new, but like old information, ancient information that has to be brought into modern times for us women. And that's what I really want to talk about in videos to come. I'm going to try to stay on track here. So I'm checking my notes. But essentially, as I was saying, we've been taught that we can only get money by doing. We do something and we get it. This is how, if you talk to any men, which I love talking to men, I have quite a few men who have been clients over the years. I like to listen to men. I like to sit around men. I like to peek into men's world respectfully. But when you talk to men and you're around men, they're service oriented. What can I do? What can I get? How can I prove myself? Even though that's not how they say it. Like, I want to prove myself, but they're just like, yo, I can get in here and do it. If I do this and it benefits all, I am the king, I am the man. It's a very, again, quote unquote, masculine approach to things, where we forget that there is the feminine way of wealth, which in some beliefs, such as my own, is the original, right? We have the wombs, we have the source codes, we do the nurturing, we do the birthing, we are the earth, right? The earth has all the minerals, it comes in with everything you need. And if we look at this from a biological perspective, we all begin as female. And then your chromosomes do what they do and you decide where you're going to go, right? In this lifetime. The point is, we have all the things inside of us to relate to wealth and also money and also abundance and even work and business in a completely different way. And so I want to present to you this idea of not focusing on the outcome and the results of money to get it, and instead focusing on you as a woman, you and your nourishment, you and your joy, you and your desire, you and your creativity, you and your full expression. And I have an example of this being true. A long, long, long time ago, which was just a couple of years, I made my first $100,000 in my business. I was fresh back into the States after living abroad. I took my destination travel retreat business, coaching, healing women's business from Southeast Asia into South Florida. And as a result, right before the pandemic, I had an online business that was thriving before we ever had a pandemic. Like I've been using Zoom before people knew Zoom. Everyone was still using Skype. I did not know I had made my first $100,000 in my business ever for like months after, like a lot of months after. And the reason why I did not know is because I was in my joy. I was in my service. I was in my expression. I was in my experimentation. I was loving all the people that I was meeting. I had a routine of going out to the beach, doing my meditations, coming back, playing with my dog, making my breakfast, doing some yoga, some journaling, lighting some incense, and then getting into my workday and meeting all these incredible people and seeing the transformations in their lives. I did not say I need to make $10,000 a month. I did not say I'm going to make 100K plus this year. I was just in my vibe, doing and being. And it's so interesting because, again, that's the opposite of what we're taught. What we're taught is that if you don't measure it, it can't be managed. And if you can't measure it and manage it, then it won't grow. And that is one concept. That is one way of doing things. It's not the only way. What I'm seeing on the internet also, and this is a bit of a rant, is all these women who are saying women need to be in business, women need to make more money, women need to have a seat at the table. And yet we're showing up, behaving, and being like men. Literally, I was on a webinar with someone who has made millions of dollars, is making millions of dollars, is well known in business online, fantabulous woman. And she literally, as I quote, says, "We'll just see how white men do business." And I was like, what? First off, I don't even want to have the conversation about white and black and people of color and all of this stuff. That's a conversation for another time. But the idea of saying in this day and age, oh, patriarchy this and women freedom that and liberation that, but then you turn around and say, if these kind of men can do it, we can take that same method and apply it over here and think that's going to work. It is not, because we're not men. I am not a man. I'm assuming you are not a man. And if you are a man, let me know what you think about this, I guess. I don't know. But the point is, we women, okay, have a full range of how we can do business, relate to money, operate our lives that is not just like others. It's our own way. And our own way is both of the ways, to be honest with you. I move back and forth between my masculine and my feminine and all these different expressions. And when we understand that, we can create balance. The reason why this is so important to me to share with you, besides the fact that I want all women overflowing with all the abundance and all the joy, not just that you generate or manifest in your life, but also that is given to you from your family, from the partner that you choose to be with, from inheritance, from the stock market, from everywhere it can possibly come. Let it flow to you as I also desire it to flow to me. But more than that is I want you to know that you have options and choice. And I want to see more women healing from burnout and less going into burnout or returning to burnout, because what we're doing right now is working hard to make more money so that we don't work hard. But again, we're creating another vicious cycle. So now we're trying to hire more. We're trying to do more. We're trying to get a team. We're trying to get a consultant to do and do and do and do so that we get reprieve on the back end, which is still more doing to get more means to an end, instead of returning to and incorporating the other side, which is essentially creating balance, which would be calling in our feminine essence, our feminine way of cultivating life, dreams, right? We don't have to effort as our only tool in the toolbox. The hardest thing I have ever had to do and still continue to do is to stop focusing on money. It's very, very hard, especially my particular background. I come from a family that didn't have a lot of money. Everyone was blue collar. There was never enough in the household. We were on food stamps. There's a whole lot of things about my background. Eventually, I'll do a video about it. But I grew up being very aware that we did not have enough and having pride in my mother's ability to stretch a dollar and to figure out strategic ways to rob Peter and pay Paul and still make it happen and make special memories. That is very much so part of my history, my family, my culture, my background, my upbringing. And I want to change that. So not fixating on the money from lack or even abundance, because let's be honest, there are methods and approaches out here, and I'm not knocking them because they do work in their own way, of like your mantras around money or you're centering it. And that's one way to do it. But what I'm saying is, if you've done the path of strategy and you've done the path of execution and you've experienced burnout, at this point in the game, I have to do things differently to get where I really want to go, to step into my next level of womanhood, of impact, of my desires, my dreams, all of that. It's time to do things differently. And the thing that's missing that is different is the other side of the seesaw, is how I say it. Your feminine energy. All right. And again, this is not on some polarity, masculine, feminine, defining it. You define your feminine energy. You define your masculine. You define all of your whole entire essence. My interest is helping you to unlock another way of being that transforms your life, starting with you. We always say, oh, it's not about the external, it's internal work. I want to invest myself, blah, 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 blah. Invest here in the woman that you are, the woman that you're becoming, the woman that you were called to be. If we keep chasing money, we'll always be able to be controlled. The same way, if we do not have money, if we do not have resources around us, we can also be controlled. And I'm definitely going to do a video on this in the future because I've worked with quite a few clients and even with myself, learning how to balance the energies and work between them and move. It doesn't feel good if you have more than enough, but you're afraid of it. It doesn't feel good when you don't have any and you're like, also afraid of it. Either way, you're in a vulnerable position. So the only way to get into balance is to come here. Is that thing called the fulcrum? You guys in the comments can tell me. Someone smart is going to remember that. I think it's called the fulcrum, right? Where the seesaw sits on. We are the fulcrum. We are the wealth. You are the wealth. It starts with you. That's how we figure this out. I think this feels really good. I had other notes. I think the concept here is taking form, but I knew that I had to get on here and make a video and share this with you. So if it resonates, if you have questions, if you have thoughts, please let me know. And if you want me to do a video specifically around healing or transforming your relationship with energy, masculine and feminine, with ancestral wounds and traumas associated with wealth or money, or something else that comes up as you listen to this video, let me know in the comments because I'll be happy to know and to start like drafting some things for all of us to enjoy. At the end of the day, I want you to think about this. If you've always been functioning from what we've been taught and told in this culture, that you get to be safe, you get to create stability all through your doing, through your efforts, through your hustle, through your smarts, through your intellect, right? Many of us are, degreed up, multi-degreed up, multi-certificates, right? We're just overachievers doing all the things. If that's the only way you think that overflow and wealth and joy and ease and abundance and more than enough comes to you, we've got work to do. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please, please, please give me a thumbs up as I tiptoe back into the internet. Some of you guys who know me know that I've been gone for a long time, but I am so excited to be coming back around and I've got so many things in store that's been incubating in me and now I'm just going to let them flow out. So make sure you subscribe, drop a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm sending you lots of love wherever you are.